Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I have a message for you which is kind of on all of our minds right now in this current global climate, whatever's going on in the world. It's been a crazy year, and to top it off, we've got the US election. Now, obviously you guys know I am here in Australia, so it is not my expertise at all, but where my focus is on the people, and it's on the individual, it's on myself, it's on you guys, and it's on how we are showing up on an individual level that is actually moving us forward and empowering us, or moving us backward and disempowering ourselves. And so I'm going to just deliver a quick message for you guys on this one. And as usual, I want to hear from you guys. I want to see you guys. So drop me a comment. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. Have you got any questions or comments or words of wisdom, or you want to get in on the action of the conversation that we're going to have today? Now, the conversation that I want to have with you guys today, like everything that I do, is to bring us together. It's to unify diverse perspectives. It's to unify diverse people, and it's to unify ourselves within so that we're in total alignment with what's true for us, what our true values are, all for the purpose of ultimately being our most empowered selves. Okay, so that's the kind of context that I want to have this conversation with you guys about, because I don't know if you guys have been following some of my messages for a while. You know that I am not somebody who is here to judge and condemn and segregate and fragment society. I'm here to notice when we get overly emotionally reactive to anything in our lives. And ultimately to know that when we are overly emotionally reactive to anything, it's just really pointing us to the fact that we're not truly empowered within ourselves. And so that's not a bad thing necessarily unless we don't notice it. But when we do notice it, we ultimately have just painted an amazing path, an amazing journey for ourselves to actually get back to empowering ourselves and taking 100% responsibility for how we show up and how we impact and what we contribute to the world around us. Okay, so that is ultimately what we're going to be talking about today. And I just want to use the uncertain nature of the global context that we're in right now as this gauge of checking in with our own self-empowerment and how we're choosing to operate and influence the world. So today, my message for you is that in times of uncertainty, do you focus on thriving or merely surviving? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So to use it there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. 2020 has been one of the most uncertain times, at least in my life. Basically we've all had to kind of deal with something challenging in terms of not knowing what's to come on a really large global scale, right? And basically, there's two types of people out there. There are the people who are just looking to survive, right? They're just like, oh my God, tell me what to do. They're just chasing some sort of external certainty in order to survive. And then there's other people who are looking to thrive. And the people who look to thrive are the ones who absolutely know for certain that the only certainty you can ever have as a human being is the certainty that you generate within your own self, as to the belief that you can always figure it out. That no matter what uncertain challenges you're faced with, you're the one in the driver's seat. You can figure it out. Everything, in the words of Marie Forleo, is figure-outable, right? And so that's what I want for you guys to think about, because oh my gosh, what a separation this creates, right? Like, what a fragmented society when it gets into politics, when it gets into most social issues, right? And there's great value in doing so. I'm a great believer in diversity of perspective and sharing that openly, and diversity of different experiences and all sorts of things, right? And the problem isn't in the diversity, right? The problem is in the adversity, right? It's like we can't come together in a truly, expansive way, right? If we came together with all of our differing perspectives, all the uncertainty, right? And we came together and put all of our heads together, right? Then we could create some sort of unified, better response, better solution to all of life's uncertainties. But what happens is we waste all of our energy just trying to survive and thinking we need to pick a team in order to survive. And we need that team to win at all costs without educating ourselves on what's actually underlying the pathways that we've chosen. And so basically we exert a hell of a lot of energy just trying to survive, and not many of us end up in thriving. All right. And so in order to shift gears, what we need to do is we need to take it on upon ourselves. It's not about somebody outside of us saving us, right? It's not about our survival depending on who gets elected or who gets the vaccine or, all these different things that, come out into our lives. And if we look at it on a more individual level, we can look at it at global context. But if we look at it on a more individual level, the uncertainty that we have in relationships with people, the uncertainty that we have working for a certain employer, the uncertainty that we have that, we're not going to die today, right? Something might happen, right? There's a lot of uncertainty in every given moment that us humans, if we can master our ability to take responsibility for our own internal certainty within, which is, again, the only place you'll ever have certainty, is a strong belief within yourself that you will always handle it. You will always figure it out no matter what comes at you in this uncertain context that we're constantly faced with, even outside of 2020, right? Then that is the main focus that will determine whether you just live a life trying to struggle and survive, or you design a life where you are ultimately thriving and you can handle it and you have certainty within. And if you've never experienced certainty within, I tell you what, there is nothing better than it. It literally took me 25 years. I didn't have certainty within myself until I was 25, right? And it was a moment of decision. It was a moment of 100% responsibility that I took for my own life, that I finally accessed a certainty, a strength, an internal conviction that all of the scary, terrifying things that I had perceived would happen if I lived my own life, all of those things, all of my worst fears actually came true, right? And basically, I was ostracized from my family, my friendships, all sorts of things when I made a determined decision to empower myself and choose my own pathway, right? But basically, it didn't matter. It no longer mattered because I had a different perspective on my life. And I was able to, just instead of chasing certainty from external sources, what do mum and dad want me to do? Or what do my friends want me to do? Or what does society want me to do? I actually asked myself, what is it that I want to do, right? And it gave me that certainty that all of us as human beings have an opportunity to access. And to think that we are ever going to get an experience of true, unshakable certainty in any sort of external source without first instilling it within ourselves is the biggest waste of our energy and effort ever, right? Everybody's looking for the magic pill so that we don't have to have the responsibility. Somebody else can do it, right? We're all looking for fulfillment. We're all looking to live a beautiful, regret-free life, but none of us are actually really taking responsibility for it. Some of us are, but most of us aren't, right? Because we just don't have, it's not because we don't have the potential to do so, it's because we need a small switch in our brain, right? We need to shift from survivalistic mindset to thriving. We need to shift from everybody else's responsibility to I take 100% responsibility. We need to shift from my life could be over in any minute and I'm not in control or empowered in it, to, you know what, I can handle any of the inevitable challenges that I will be faced with as a human being, and not just only handle it, I will thrive in that uncertainty, because all change and all transformation occurs in uncertainty, and the only certainty that you have the power to experience truly in your life is certainty that you generate within. All right, so that is my message for you guys today. Create your own certainty so that you can ultimately thrive in an inevitably uncertain environment, rather than just waste a hell of a lot of energy trying to find some external source to ensure your survival. All right, it's such a waste of energy. So all that energy that you think is the easy path, right? Somebody else take care of this. It ends up being the hardest path in the long run. And the harder path, you know, oh, I've got to take this responsibility on myself. I've got to educate myself. I've got to grow myself. I've got to take ownership of my own patterns and how I show up in the world, and maybe where I'm wounded, and maybe where I need some healing, and maybe where, you know, like I've been doing some things that I'm less than proud of. You know, that sounds like the harder path, but in the long run, it is always the easier path. Remember, certainty is what every human being needs. But we waste way too much energy in an attempt to gain that need or fulfill on that need of certainty in any external source, when ultimately we can only do that from within. So shift the focus and know that, you know, we want to direct life. We want to direct society. We want to direct our communities in the most empowering ways, but it's not always going to work out in the way that we ultimately want. So what are you going to do about that, right? You're not in control of external sources. You can only influence them. And the most influential people in this world are the ones who aren't trying to get certainty from any external group or, person or organization or whatever. They're generating certainty from within. They don't need anything. They know they will handle it. They know they will deal with whatever the circumstances bring, but they do move from a very inspired and in very influential place because of that certainty within. All right, so that is my message for you guys today. Just a quick one for you guys today. I've got to run off. I am super busy at the moment, but all for the purposes of growing into a better leader for you guys and creating some amazing stuff for you. So definitely want to check in with you guys so to see who's been able to join me. Have you got any questions, comments, words of wisdom, or anything that you'd love to contribute to today's conversation? I would love to hear from you guys. So let's see, I've got DV in the house. Hello to you, my friend. And Parwin and Clyde and Brandon. Hello to you. And Jay Kashan is here. Hello to you. And Akanisi. Cool name. And Scott's here as well. And Jay Castillo. Hello from San Diego. Always good to see you, my friend. And Mike's here. And Taha. And Steve. And Angelica. And AJ. And Georgina. And Leanne. Awesome to see each and every one of you guys. I hope today's message has just been empowering for you. That's the purpose of each and every one of these messages. If it has been of value to you, please do share it. And remember, you know, in times of uncertainty, which is always, right? We're always in states of uncertainty. We're always in states of transitions as human beings. 2020 is just that on steroids, right? But just to know that you are always at choice point. Are you going to thrive, or are you just going to focus on survival, right? So thrivers, they're the ones who take 100% responsibility and know that the only place they're ever going to have true certainty is if they generate it within, with a strong belief that they can handle every inevitable challenge that comes their way. All right. And the people who are focused on surviving, they're just looking to disperse any responsibility. And therefore they give away all of their power to external sources. And they're at the whim and the mercy of decisions being made outside of themselves. And they never truly have certainty, right? Not sustainable and not really true, authentic certainty, like I said, which can only be generated from a strong belief system within and a strong mindset, and even reflecting back through your life and knowing the challenges that you've overcome. You know, stack those up. Prove to yourself over and over again that you can always handle any challenge that comes your way. It's all figure outable. All right. So that's my message for you guys today. Hope it's been of value. And as usual, my reminder to each and every one of you is to go out there and live authentically, love deeply, and contribute meaningfully and purposefully. All right. So much love to each and every one of you guys who could show up live today. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon. Much love.